Namaste friends, welcome to Vedic Astral Science. Today we are back with the part 2 video on understanding the sign Gemini or Mithun Rashi. In part 1 we already had a detailed discussion about the role of sign Lord Mercury in determining the traits and characteristics of Gemini natives, how we should interpret the meanings of symbol of the sign Gemini, which is a couple or twin, the places or residences associated with sign Gemini. We talked about its cardinality, which is dual or mutable, and we talked about the tattva or element of Gemini, which is air element or Vayu tattva. And we have also discussed about the guna associated with Gemini, which is sattva guna. So if you are watching this part 2 video randomly, then I would request you to watch the part 1 video before watching this video, because all the fundamentals about Mithun Rashi, its traits and characteristics and many other significations or karakatvas are discussed in the part 1. Okay. As the sign Gemini is an air sign, it signifies the west direction. And if you want to know how can we apply the concept of direction in real life, then you can watch my videos on Rashis and their directions. There are two videos available on directions associated with the zodiac signs in my channel. And as the sign Gemini is an air sign, it is governed by the Purushartha Kama or all kinds of desires. So Gemini natives are driven by strong desires. Okay. Mithun Rashi is an Ubhayoday Rashi, and if you want to know how we should interpret and apply the terminologies like Sirshoday, Prishtoday and Ubhayoday, then you can watch the videos on the same topic in my channel. There are two videos available on this concept in this channel. So I am not going into all those details or repeating the same here. Alright friends, now let us understand the planetary compatibility and incompatibility in sign Gemini, and how we are going to understand it. We will simply check the following parameters. Number 1, whether a planet is placed in its exalted, debilitated or own sign, whether the element or tattva of that planet matches or complements with the tattva or element of the sign, and we will also check the Naisargika or natural relationship of the planet concerned with the sign lord, which is Mercury in this case. Okay. Number 2 is we will check the Hora occupied by that planet. You can also check the Navamsha, but in this video we will only use Hora. Number 3, we will consider the placement from Mool-Trikon, exaltation and debilitations of a particular planet as applicable. Alright friends, let us see what are the planets generally compatible with the energy field of Gemini, and also the reason why they should be considered compatible or incompatible in this sign. So let us begin with Mercury. For Mercury, Gemini is own sign. However, Mercury is governed by Prithvi Tattva or Earth element, and Gemini is an air sign. So this is not a good match as far as the elements or tattvas are concerned. But if you count from the Mool-Trikon position of Mercury, which is Virgo or Kanya Rashi, then we will find the sign Gemini in the 10th house or in a Kendra or square position from Virgo. The basic rule of Jyotish or Vedic astrology is whenever a planet is placed in Kendra or Trikona positions or square or trine positions from its Mool-Trikon Rashi and from the sign of exaltation, we should take it as a good or compatible placement. So we can say that Mercury is very compatible here. Mercury is a neuter sign, so it is equally strong in both the horas, okay, within the sign Gemini. For Venus, Gemini is a friendly sign, and if you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Venus, which is Libra, you will find the sign Gemini in the ninth house, which is the most auspicious trikona or trine. So we can consider the planet Venus as highly compatible in Gemini. But Venus is governed by water element, which is not complementary with air element. So this is not a good match between elements or tattvas. Venus is a female sign, so it is better that Venus occupies the second half of the sign Gemini, because the second half in all the odd signs belong to female hora or hora of moon, and female planets become stronger and compatible in female horas or even hora. Okay. Rahu is considered exalted in Gemini by many astrological authorities. Okay. Rahu is considered exalted in sign Gemini, and some of the authorities concerned or consider Rahu is exalted in sign Taurus. So both Rahu and Gemini are governed by air element. So elemental compatibility is also there. If you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Rahu, which is Aquarius, then you will find the sign Gemini in the fifth house, which is a trikon or trine position. Apart from that, Rahu is a highly lustful and desirous planet, and Gemini is also governed by the Purusartha Kama, or strongly driven by desires. So Rahu finds himself in a comfort zone and highly compatible in sign Gemini. For Saturn, Gemini is a friendly sign, and if you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Saturn, then same as Rahu, you will find the sign Gemini in the fifth house or in a Trikon position. Okay, because Mool-Trikon of Saturn is Aquarius, Mool-Trikon of Rahu is also Aquarius. Okay, and Saturn is also governed by air element. So from all the point of view, Saturn is extremely compatible in sign Gemini. So all these planets are usually compatible or generally compatible with the energy of Gemini, provided they are not afflicted in the natal chart. Alright friends, now let us come to the planets which can be considered neutral in my opinion. The first one is Moon. For Moon, Gemini is generally a friendly sign. But if we count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Moon, which is Taurus, we will find the sign Gemini in the second house, which is neither a Kendra nor a Trikona house. So this placement of Moon has one disadvantage also. Okay, because Moon will be in the 12th house from its own sign, which is Cancer, and whenever a planet or lord of a particular house is placed in the 12th sign or Rasi, it negates the significations or karakatvas of that sign and also of that particular planet. Okay, so native may be devoid of the positive significations of moon and also of the emotional qualities of sign Cancer. Okay, it is good for moon if she is placed in the second half, that is 50 to 30 degrees in the sign Gemini. Okay, in that case moon will occupy her own hora or female hora. So moon will absorb some of its feminine significations or karakatvas and also gain strength being placed in own hora. So that's why I have put moon as neutral or moderately compatible with having some disadvantages. Okay. For Sun, Gemini is a neutral sign because Sun perceives Mercury as neutral. And if you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Sun, which is Leo or Singha Rashi, you will find the sign Gemini in the 11th house, which is neither a Kendra nor a Trikona. So again, we should consider it as a neutral placement. However, this placement of Sun has one disadvantage. If we count from the debilitation sign of Sun, which is Libra, we will find the sign Gemini in the 9th house or in a trine or trikona position from its sign of debilitation. So a planet is generally not considered good in the trikon or trine positions from its sign of debilitation. Okay. However, if Sun is placed within the first 15 degrees in sign Gemini, then he will gain strength by virtue of occupying his own Hora or Leo Hora. So, in my opinion, Sun should be considered neutral in sign Gemini. Alright, friends, now let us talk about the incompatible planets in sign Gemini. For Mars, Gemini is the sign of its only enemy. If you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Mars, which is Aries, you will find the sign Gemini in the 3rd house. So again, neither Kendra nor Trikon. So you can take it as a neutral, or if you consider the Trisadai position or 3, 6, 11 positions as negative ones, then you can take this position of Mars as a disadvantage also. Okay. For me, Mars is generally incompatible in sign Gemini, and elemental match is there as fire and air element complements each other, and this will be applicable for Sun and Ketu also because they are also governed by fire element. For Jupiter, Gemini is an enemy sign, and Jupiter is governed by Akash Tattva or ether element, which is not a good match with airy Gemini. If you count from the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Jupiter, which is Sagittarius, you will find the sign Gemini in the 7th house, which is a Kendra position. So this is a plus point of this placement. Another advantage of this placement is Jupiter will aspect his Mool-Trikon Rashi or own sign Sagittarius with its full 7th aspect. So whichever house in the birth chart this Sagittarius sign is placed in, that house and the significations or karakatwas of that house will be very strong or prominent in the life of native. Jupiter is a male planet and that's why he is better be placed in the first half of Gemini or in Leo Hora. For Ketu, Gemini is the sign of debilitation. Gemini is driven by desire, but Ketu is about letting things go, detachment, conquering the senses. So, not a very compatible sign as far as the Karakatwas or significations are concerned. From the Mool-Trikon Rashi of Ketu, which is Leo, the sign Gemini will be placed in the 11th house. So, it is a neutral placement in that way. Ketu is governed by fire element or Agni Tattva, which is complementary with air element. But overall, it is best to consider Ketu as incompatible in the sign Gemini. Okay, this is my personal opinion. Let me remind you that all these compatibilities are only a generalized view or opinion depending upon some very fundamental concepts of Vedic astrology. There are aspects, conjunctions. You need to check the Navamsha Rashi placement of all the planets, signs occupied in other important Vargas, strength of the dispositors of a planet. So if you go into all those details, you will finally come to the conclusion that every placement has its own advantages and disadvantages. No planet is really compatible or incompatible in any sign or Rasi. They just behave according to the vibration or energy field of a particular Rasi. So whatever we have discussed in this video is only to understand the vibration of the sign Gemini and functions of different planets in sign Gemini as per their planetary vibrations. Alright friends, that's all for today. See you soon with the part 3 video on understanding the sign Gemini or Mithun Rashi. Thanks for watching the video till the end. Happy learning, stay fine and have a very happy Janmashtami.